So earlier this week, we had two reputable sources, being Nate the Hate and Necro Filpe from Universal Nintendo, tell us that there was going to be a Nintendo Direct partner showcase that was going to be focused on third-party games and was going to be happening this week. And that this was going to be focusing on third-party stuff, and that Nintendo was just doing this to kind of clear out some of the other announcements that they still had left for the Nintendo Switch. And Nate the Hate and Necro Filpe have been pretty credible sources in the past. A lot of the stuff that they've said has turned out to be real, but of course we can all tell that we didn't get a Nintendo Direct this week. There wasn't anything that was shadow dropped, there wasn't anything that was announced, so what exactly is going on? Well, even though Nate the Hate and Necro Filpe are pretty reliable sources, there is one person who is even more reliable than all of them, and that is because this person has absolutely never been wrong in a single thing that they have leaked, and that is Pyoro. If you don't know, Pyoro is an account on Twitter that's based around the bird from WarioWare, but every single thing that this account has tweeted has been 100% accurate when it comes to their leaks. Pyoro has never been wrong about Sonic leaks and Pokemon leaks and even third-party stuff, but especially when it comes to Nintendo leaks, as these leak stuff like when exactly Nintendo Directs are going to happen, some of the big announcements that are going to be inside of Nintendo Directs, and then also some things with like Nintendo Switch Online in terms of what types of games are going to be announced. And so Pyoro is like one of the very few people that I actually put my faith into in terms of their leaks and information, because they've never been wrong, and I don't see this being like the first time that they're going to be wrong either. So they finally talked a little bit about what's been going on this week and why we didn't get something, and now what we can expect moving forward when it comes to Nintendo Directs, and so that's what I'm going to be talking to you guys about inside of this video. Alright, so here we are on Twitter, where just about an hour ago, Pyoro made this very kind of cryptic tweet where he says here, Act 2 Rebirth, and then followed up by saying next week. So this was very kind of vague and mysterious, and people were trying to figure out what exactly he meant by this, and at first I thought he was referring to something with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because of course that game is going to be coming out at the end of this month, and we know it's called Rebirth, it's Act 2, it's basically part 2 in the trilogy, and even next week there's supposed to be like a new demo coming out for it, so I thought maybe he was teasing at something like that. But then we got this reply here where somebody said Rebirth of a Nintendo Direct, and then he replied by saying Rebirth of Partner Showcase. So there you go. If Pyoro is saying this, I have absolutely no reason to not believe it now. This person has never been wrong. Like I said, they have a 100% accurate track record. So at this point now, next week, Rebirth of Partner Showcase, I am definitely expecting there to be a partner showcase that's going to happen next week, just like what was rumored to happen this week with a Nintendo Direct, kind of going over some of the third-party games that are coming to the Nintendo Switch. But now, if we are going to be getting a Nintendo Direct partner showcase, what happened to all of the rumors that were talking about it happening this week? Because that's pretty much what the reliable people were saying, like Nate the Hate and Necro Filpe. They were all saying that there was going to be a partner showcase that was going to be happening this week, so why is it all of a sudden now happening next week? And the thing about this is that there was actually something that came out from Jeff Grubb, and he talked about it yesterday, but I didn't want to make an entire video on it. But now, considering the information that has come out from Pyoro, and also the stuff that we can find in Pyoro's likes, I feel like it is worth kind of discussing a little bit, because if we take a look in Pyoro's likes and I scroll down here, we can see that he did like the tweet here from Jeff Grubb where he said here, I know no one wants to hear this, but just like when the Queen died, this is real. I heard earlier this week that they were discussing moving the Direct because of the Xbox business update. I've never known the date for sure, I've only heard by the middle of February. And so I guess he was saying here that because there was like an Xbox event that happened yesterday, that was the reason why the Nintendo Direct, which was originally supposed to happen this week, like everything was supposed to be rumored, it didn't happen this week because the Xbox thing came out of nowhere, and Nintendo was like, you know what, we can't do the Direct now, we're gonna have to move it now to next week. Now, we've even got Nate the Hate talking about all of this on Twitter, where he said here, the absence of a Direct today or this week doesn't negate the high probability of a Direct happening this month. As has been speculated, there may have been a pivot due to the Microsoft briefing, an angle that one can revisit once the Direct airs. And then Papagenos replied by saying here, a lot of people don't realize legitimate info can still not pan out as expected, but that doesn't mean it was fake. No one can see the future and know exactly what and how things will happen. And to that, Nate the Hate replied by saying, the issue is that plans change, while it is a truth, can be used as a shield. Could this week have been the rare instance that a plan did change? Absolutely. Did it? I'd say that if we see an Xbox game in the Direct, then one can assume a plan saw minor adjustment. And then we've got a reply here saying that Phil Spencer couldn't name the 4 games that are going on Sony and Nintendo's platforms, I think it speaks more concrete evidence that plans have changed. And Nate replied by saying, and this very well may be the case. The statement stood out and would support the angle proposed by Grubb that Nintendo possibly delayed the Direct due to the Xbox event. If a Microsoft game is in the Direct, we have our answer. But basically what all of this is about is yesterday there was an Xbox business update podcast that came out, and this was because for the last few days there's been so many like crazy things that have been coming out about Xbox, saying that apparently they were leaving the console market and they were going to stop making Xbox systems, and apparently Game Pass was coming to other systems, and Xbox was going to become like Sega, just making games now and not making systems anymore. There's a lot of crazy stuff. So then they announced that they were going to have like this Xbox business podcast where they were really going to talk about the future of Xbox, and Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, was going to be there. And so yesterday it finally came out. I didn't get a chance to watch like the entire video, but I've seen some people talking about the highlights on Twitter. So we've got like Wario64 here saying Microsoft is bringing 4 Xbox exclusive games to the PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch, but doesn't name them specifically. And then we've got the quote here from Phil Spencer saying, we've made the decision that we're going to take 4 games to the other consoles. And then it says here, sources say that the first 2 titles are Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment, followed by Sea of Thieves and Grounded. I do have a fundamental belief that over the next 5 or 10 years, exclusive games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware, are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry, says Spencer on the Xbox podcast. Now, I can't really speak for Nintendo because I feel like those games are always going to stay on Nintendo systems, like Mario, Zelda, stuff like that. I don't think they're ever going to bring that to other systems. But with PlayStation and Xbox, especially with how expensive those games are to make, I definitely do think that they are going to start making them kind of less be focused on having them be exclusives. So it will be interesting to see where that goes moving forward, because if we once get into like a timeline where everything starts coming out on PC and Xbox and PlayStation at the same time, then it's going to be very interesting to see how those systems are really going to compete with PC. So that'll be interesting, but either way, the important thing from this is how they talked about 4 Xbox exclusive games coming to the Switch. And so that was basically where all of this came out, where people were saying that it's because of this Xbox business update that Nintendo decided to move the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase that was going to happen this week to now being next week. And it's very possible that if we see that Partner Showcase, and let's say a game like Hi-Fi Rush gets announced in that Partner Showcase, now it makes perfect sense why they would have had to delay the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase and move it to next week, because you can't have Phil Spencer tease that there's going to be some Xbox game coming to the Switch and then have the game already be announced if the Partner Showcase happened already. So I feel like that's probably why, and maybe Nintendo made that decision. So I guess we will know once the Partner Showcase happens. But either way, I definitely do see that making sense. But it's just kind of like how Nate said here, basically that people can use it as a shield, where like a lot of like leakers can just say, well, you know, plans can always change and stuff. So because of that, you know, a lot of times leakers just try to say that to kind of defend themselves if something that they said turns out to be false. But I definitely do think here it's possible that the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase genuinely may have been delayed because of this Microsoft event. But yeah, there you go guys, that is pretty much the update that we have now to the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase and what's exactly been going on with everything. But now that Pyoro has said that it's going to happen next week, if we actually don't get a Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase next week, then this will be the first ever time that Pyoro has been wrong, and I don't really see that happening. So I definitely do think that now it probably was just delayed and we're going to see it next week. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see, and we'll know our answer in the coming days. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the channel, as well as I'm definitely going to have some more videos talking about Nintendo as the information comes out. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think about all of this. Do you guys believe Pyoro, and how do you guys feel about all of this? Do you think that Nintendo may have actually delayed the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase? Do you think it's not going to happen? What are your thoughts about everything? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. But if you don't have anything to say about this, just comment your favorite emoji down below for some engagement. I would really appreciate it. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.